وخلقناكم أزواجا وجعلنا نومكم سباتا وجعلنا الليل لباسا وجعلنا النهار معاشا وبنينا فوقكم سبعا شدادا وجعلنا سراجا وهاجا وأنزلنا من المعصرات ماء ثجاجا لنخرج به حبا ونباتا وجنات ألفافا إن يوم الفصل كان ميقاتا يوم ينفخ في الصور فتأتون أفواجا وفتحت السماء فكانت أبوابا وسيرت الجبال فكانت سرابا إن جهنم كانت مرصادا للطاغين مآبا لابثين فيها أحقابا لا يذوقون فيها بردا ولا شرابا إلا حميما وغساقا جزاء وفاقا إنهم كانوا لا يرجون حسابا وكذبوا بآياتنا كذابا وكل شيء أحصيناه كتابا فذوقوا فلن نزيدكم إلا عذابا إن للمتقين مفازا حدائق وأعنابا وكواعب أترابا وكأسا دهاقا لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا كذابا جزاء من ربك عطاء حسابا رب السماوات والأرض وما بينهما الرحمن لا يملكون منه خطابا يوم يقوم الروح والملائكة صفا لا يتكلمون إلا من أذن له الرحمن وقال صوابا ذلك اليوم الحق فمن شاء اتخذ إلى ربه مآبا إنا أنذرناكم عذابا قريبا يوم ينظر المرء ما قدمت يداه ويقول الكافر يا ليتني كنت ترابا بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والنازعات غرقا والناشطات نشطا والسابحات سبحا فالسابقات سبقا فالمدبرات أمرا يوم ترجف الراجفة تتبعها الرادفة قلوب يومئذ واجفة أبصارها خاشعة يقولون أئنا لمردودون في الحافرة أئذا كنا عظاما نخرة قالوا تلك إذا كرة خاسرة فإنما هي زجرة واحدة فإذا هم بالساهرة هل أتاك حديث موسى إذ ناداه ربه بالوادي المقدس طوى اذهب إلى فرعون إنه طغى فقل هل لك إلى أن تزكى وأهديك إلى ربك فتخشى فأراه الآية الكبرى فكذب وعصى ثم أدبر يسعى فحشر فنادى فقال أنا ربكم الأعلى فأخذه الله نكال الآخرة والأولى إن في ذلك لعبرة لمن يخشى أأنتم أشد خلقا أم السماء بناها رفع سمكها فسواها وأغطش ليلها وأخرج ضحاها والأرض بعد ذلك دحاها أخرج منها ماءها ومرعاها والجبال أرساها متاعا لكم ولأنعامكم فإذا جاءت الطامة الكبرى يوم يتذكر الإنسان ما سعى وبرزت الجحيم لمن يرى فأما من طغى وآثر الحياة الدنيا فإن الجحيم هي المأوى وأما من خاف مقام ربه ونهى النفس عن الهوى فإن الجنة هي المأوى يسألونك عن الساعة أيان مرساها فيما أنت من ذكراها إلى ربك منتهاها إنما أنت منذر من يخشاها كأنهم يوم يرونها لم يلبثوا إلا عشية أو ضحاها بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم عبس وتولى أن جاءه الأعمى وما يدريك لعله يزكى أو يذكر فتنفعه الذكرى أما من استغنى فأنت له تصدى وما عليك ألا يزكى وأما من جاءك يسعى وهو يخشى فأنت عنه تلهى كلا إنها تذكرة فمن شاء ذكره في صحف مكرمة مرفوعة مطهرة بأيدي سفرة كرام بررة قتل الإنسان ما أكفره من أي شيء خلقه من نطفة خلقه فقدره ثم السبيل يسره ثم أماته فأقبره ثم إذا شاء أنشره كلا لما يقض ما أمره فلينظر الإنسان إلى طعامه أنا صببنا الماء صبا ثم شققنا الأرض شقا فأنبتنا فيها حبا وعنبا وقضبا وزيتونا ونخلا وحدائق غلبا وفاكهة وأبا متاعا لكم ولأنعامكم فإذا جاءت الصاخة يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وصاحبته وبنيه لكل امرئ منهم يومئذ شأن يغنيه وجوه يومئذ مسفرة ضاحكة مستبشرة ووجوه يومئذ عليها غبرة ترهقها قترة أولئك هم الكفرة الفجرة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا الشمس كورت وإذا النجوم انكدرت وإذا الجبال سيرت وإذا العشار عطلت وإذا الوحوش حشرت وإذا البحار سجرت وإذا النفوس زوجت وإذا الموءودة سئلت بأي ذنب قتلت وإذا الصحف نشرت وإذا السماء كشطت وإذا الجحيم سعرت وإذا الجنة أزلفت علمت نفس ما أحضرت فلا أقسم بالخنس الجوار الكنس والليل إذا عسعس والصبح إذا تنفس إنه لقول رسول كريم ذي قوة عند ذي العرش مكين مطاع ثم أمين وما صاحبكم بمجنون ولقد رآه بالأفق المبين وما هو على الغيب بضنين وما هو بقول شيطان رجيم فأين تذهبون إن هو إلا ذكر للعالمين لمن شاء منكم أن يستقيم وما تشاءون إلا أن يشاء الله رب العالمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا السماء انفطرت وإذا الكواكب انتثرت وإذا البحار فجرت وإذا القبور بعثرت علمت نفس ما قدمت وأخرت يا أيها الإنسان ما غرك بربك الكريم الذي خلقك فسواك فعدلك في أي صورة ما شاء ركبك كلا بل تكذبون بالدين وإن عليكم لحافظين كراما كاتبين يعلمون ما تفعلون إن الأبرار لفي نعيم وإن الفجار لفي جحيم يصلونها يوم الدين وما هم عنها بغائبين وما أدراك ما يوم الدين ثم ما أدراك ما يوم الدين يوم لا تملك نفس لنفس شيئا والأمر يومئذ لله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ويل للمطففين الذين إذا اكتالوا على الناس يستوفون وإذا كالوهم أو وزنوهم يخسرون ألا يظن أولئك أنهم مبعوثون ليوم عظيم يوم يقوم الناس لرب العالمين كلا إن كتاب الفجار لفي سجين وما أدراك ما سجين كتاب مرقوم ويل يومئذ للمكذبين الذين يكذبون بيوم الدين وما يكذب به إلا كل معتد أثيم إذا تتلى عليه آياتنا قال أساطير الأولين كلا بل ران على قلوبهم ما كانوا يكسبون كلا إنهم عن ربهم يومئذ لمحجوبون ثم إنهم لصالو الجحيم ثم يقال هذا الذي كنتم به تكذبون كلا إن كتاب الأبرار لفي عليين وما أدراك ما عليون كتاب مرقوم يشهده المقربون إن الأبرار لفي نعيم على الأرائك ينظرون تعرف في وجوههم نضرة النعيم يسقون من رحيق مختوم ختامه مسك وفي ذلك فليتنافس المتنافسون ومزاجه من تسنيم عينا يشرب بها المقربون إن الذين أجرموا كانوا من الذين آمنوا يضحكون وإذا مروا بهم يتغامزون وإذا انقلبوا إلى أهلهم انقلبوا فكهين وإذا رأوهم قالوا إن هؤلاء لضالون وما أرسلوا عليهم حافظين فاليوم الذين آمنوا من الكفار يضحكون على الأرائك ينظرون هل ثوب الكفار ما كانوا يفعلون بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا السماء انشقت وأذنت لربها وحقت وإذا الأرض مدت وألقت ما فيها وتخلت وأذنت لربها وحقت يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح إلى ربك كدحا فملاقيه فأما من أوتي كتابه بيمينه فسوف يحاسب حسابا يسيرا وينقلب إلى أهله مسرورا وأما من أوتي كتابه وراء ظهره فسوف يدعو ثبورا ويصلى سعيرا إنه كان في أهله مسرورا إنه ظن أن لن يحور بلى إن ربه كان به بصيرا فلا أقسم بالشفق والليل وما وسق والقمر إذا اتسق لتركبن طبقا عن طبق فما لهم لا يؤمنون وإذا قرئ عليهم القرآن لا يسجدون بل الذين كفروا يكذبون والله أعلم بما يوعون فبشرهم بعذاب أليم إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم أجر غير ممنون.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على نبينا Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from all of us coming here to learn the language of the noble Quran. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us sadqa jariya for our parents and make our children sadqa jariya for us. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us tawfiq to learn the language of the noble Quran and then teach others. I welcome you, my respected sisters, to today's class. If you're all able to hear me loud and clear, please give me some feedback in the chat box. And you know the admin to give the feedback is your answers, please write here. So once feedbacks are there, then inshallah I'll start the class. Barakallahu feek. Alhamdulillah. So as you know, sisters, today is going to be our last lesson number 14, in which we will cover inshallah chapter number 24, and we will also try to cover the revision for the level 5. Why are we covering revision in this class instead of having a separate class? The reason is when you will do the revision, you will see that though it appeared to be a long period where we have done level 5, but actually speaking, there were only a couple of things which kept repeating in every chapter with a little bit of addition. So there is no really much here to revise for us as far as the text of the book is concerned. Of course, alhamdulillah, during this course, we learned few new things which were not in the curriculum, which were outside the scope of the chapter, but those things were necessary for us to understand and have a little bit of advanced knowledge. So I hope everybody will be able to go through this today, inshallah, and this revision will be helpful. So there's no point having another revision class next week, which will last maybe just a few minutes, and then we will end the class. Instead, you can spend that hour next week as well in your revision and prepare for your certificate exam. So inshallah, after this class, you will have study break, then you will have your certificate exam, you will receive your certificates, inshallah, and then inshallah we'll start level 6. So let's start today's chapter. Today's chapter is easy. it is a revision as well in itself. So lesson 14, which is a chapter 24, is also a revision, but that revision is for the numbers. So you will see that it's quite easy, inshallah. You will not find it difficult. We'll just have a couple of things new. Otherwise, all of things are there which we have already learned. So what is it about? Today's lesson is about numbers, right? So in this chapter, Alhamdulillah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on the soul of Sheikh Abdul Rahim. From level 1, from the book 1, what we were doing for the numbers, all numbers are being revised. So you see, this is a very important chapter where you will get the review of all the numbers which you've done so far, and we will see a couple of things new today as well. So we all know, so I'm not really going to spend too much time here on this because alhamdulillah, you all know that. So one student is talibun wahidun. If it's a feminine, talibatun wahidatun. Before we start the lesson, have a look on the left hand side. There's some kind of a legend given. So these figures are drawn here. So this just tells you what is it about. So just focus on these two. This turquoise color is representing mudhakkar, which is masculine, and this pinkish color is representing, which is muannas, which is feminine. Rest of the thing, inshallah, I'll try to explain that. So as you all know, that this number 1 and number 2, what happens with number 1 and number 2? You see, we have studied like in number 3 and number 4. Okay, let's do number 3 and number 4. Then we'll come back to number 1. It'll be very simple then to explain that. So if we look from number 3 to number 10, what happens is from 3 to 10 is there are two things, number and what we are counting, right? So what we are counting is called madud, the thing or the people we are counting, and that is always going to be opposite. It's always going to be opposite in the number. So tullab, what's the singular of tullab? As we know, when we are doing these numbers, we are looking at the singular and not the plural, because if you look at the plural, it can be sometimes confusing because plural could look like a feminine, but it is not feminine. Because as we know, some words, some masculine words, even their plural is feminine. So we already know that we don't look at the plural form of the ma'dud of what we are counting when we are doing the numbers. So tullab, what's the singular of tullab? Talibun. So the number is coming as feminine. Thalathatu tullabin. And on the other hand, if we look at this 3 female students, what's the singular for talibatin? Talibatun. So this ta marbuta is telling us it's feminine. So what we are counting, our ma'dud is feminine. So the number is going to be masculine. So here you can see that. Thalathatu tullabin wa thalathu talibatin. Arba'atu tullabin wa arba'u talibatin. Khamsatu tullabin. 5 students. This is male. How about the female students? Talibatin, singular is talibatun. So we'll use the masculine form of number. Khamsu talibatin. So like this, we have done 3 to 10 already. We really don't need to go much into detail. It was just to give you some kind of recap. As I told you, today's lesson, inshallah, is going to be a piece of cake. So now when we come to 1 and 2, we see that the both are matching. However, the difference is number 1 and number 2 comes as naat and man'ut. So you can see here, talibun wahidun, qalamun jadidun, baytun jadidun, masjidun kabirun, rajulun dhaifun, talibun jadidun. All of these are what? Naat and man'ut. So they are coming in the same with talibun wahidun, one student. Talibun mujtahidun, hardworking student. Talibun jadidun, new student. So this is the same thing. So 1 and 2, they both, in that both things match. What we are counting and the number, they both match. However, they come in the form of naat and manut. They come in the form of naat and manut. Whereas number 3 to number 10, they come as mudaf mudaf ilayh. So if you can see, we can see mudaf mudaf ilayh. What's the sign for mudaf ilayh? It's always majroor. How do we know it's mudaf ilayh? It's not something else. Because majroor, according to what we've studied, only 2 things can make something majroor. One is harf jar, and second thing is mudaf ilayh, or it could be zarf as well. But when we see these thalatha to arba'atu, we know this is not harf jar, and we know this is not zarf. So this is not adverb. Adverb is what? Adverbs give you and gives you an indication of time or a place. whereas this is a number. It's not telling you about in front of, behind, or 3 days ago, or yesterday, or tomorrow, or night, or day. It's not giving any kind of information about time or place. Rather, it is giving you numbers. So this tells us this tullab in here is mudaf ilayh, because what is before that is not harf jar, and what is before that is not any kind of zarf. So what we have before that is a number, and this number is making ma'dud majroor. So we know these 3 to 10 numbers are mudaf and mudaf ilayh. I hope everybody's clear. We really don't need to go into this much detail. It should not have been there, but Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, it's the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we keep getting revision over and over again. It's the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sisters, that we have reached up to this level where we are today in the last and final class of level 5. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Lots and lots of sisters join, but one reason or the other they drop. But Alhamdulillah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all. You really strived, and you really just made sure that you come to the course, you attend the course, you do the exams, and you see the result now, right? That you are here, Alhamdulillah, in the final class of level 5. So then the next set of number is 11 to 20. This is how the numbers are. But let's not do 11 and 12. Leave 11, 12 for now, and let's do 13 to 14. So what happens in 13 to 14? Because if you see the transition, 13 students, but what is 13? 13 is 10 plus 3, right? 13, what is 13? 13 is 10 plus 3. So in Arabic, you write it like this, 3, and this is 10, and then whatever you are counting, right? Which is our ma'dud. So what happens in this one? It's the same thing. It's kind of the same thing what we've done before. This number is in 2 parts, basically. Just remember, number from this one, 13 to 19, what we are actually focusing right now. We will take 11 and 12 and 20 later on, inshallah. So 13 to 19 is 3 parts. ثلاثة عشر طالبا أربعة عشر طالبا. So طالبا is our ma'dud, and these two are numbers. So the first part of number is always in opposition to the ma'dud. If you think, before I was not able to say these things because that could have made you think, oh, what's going on? But now if you think, you can understand. For a minute, think that this number 10 is not there. What's happening? Same thing what we've seen in 3 to 10, isn't it? What did we see in 3 to 10? Same stuff. ثلاثة طلاب ثلاث طالبات. What has changed here? The only thing which has changed here is that 10 has been added so that the number gives the translation of anything in the unit of 10, 13, 14, 15. So you see what I'm saying? If this thing we would have discussed earlier, could have been difficult, but now you have an overall picture. So I hope everybody is clear with that. Just to recap, 13 to 19, the numbers are in 2 parts. So first part of number will always be in opposition to ma'dud. Will always be in opposition to ma'dud. As you can see, ثلاثة عشر طالبا. So just remember that. And remember, for ashara, for male, you write it like that. And for female, of course, you add ta marbuta. So only this first part and the last part is opposite, whereas second and third are matching. So ashara taliban, ashara is the masculine form, and taliban, of course, is the masculine, right? Likewise, asharata, ta marbuta tells us that this is feminine, and likewise, what we are counting, ma'dud, is also feminine. So I hope it is clear. And I understand one thing, sisters. Numbers are not something you just come, listen, go, and you're done. No, numbers you need to practice. And how do you practice? You simply write. So here you are writing with Taliban, you just pick anything. Maybe start counting the pens and say qalam. Maybe start counting the houses and say baitan. So you need to practice. There is no shortcut here. There's nothing. If there's a formula is there, this number summary is here. You can memorize it if you want to, but for you to have it quickly coming to your mind when you're doing it, you need your fingers to memorize, right? When you're writing, your fingers should have memorized how the numbers are going to be, not your mind, because information coming from your mind to your fingers is going to take time, and numbers is really a quick thing to do. So this was 13 to 19. If we go back to 11 and 12, what's going to happen in 11, 12? Exactly like you've seen before. In 11 and 12, everything will match, both parts of the numbers and the ma'dud, which is called tamiz here. Ma'dud in this category, this particular set of numbers is called tamiz. And tamiz is, we know, always singular, and tamiz is always mansoob. So we can see taliban, right? We are not looking at tullab, that was mudaf ilayh. That's why it was majroor, and that was from the group of 3 to 10, and hence it was mudaf ilayh. Whereas here it is tamiz. Ahada ashara taliban. So all masculine. Ihda asharata talibatan. 11 female students. And you remember, we've discussed before as well, if you want to memorize 11 ahada ashara kawkaban from Surah Yusuf, if you have this example in your mind, inshallah, you will not make any mistakes in that. What happens to the feminine? Same thing for the number 12. Feminine will match ithnata asharata talibatan. Masculine will match ithna ashara taliban. So we have covered 11 to 12, and we have seen 13 to 19. Now let's leave 20 on this page out for a while, and we will see 20 in a while. So give me some time. Before we go to 20, let's look at how is it going to be in 21 and 22? Same thing what we've seen before. Wahidun wa ishruna taliban. So what is happening here is 21 to 22, both parts of compound word agrees with the gender of madud. So numbers, these numbers are called compound numbers, right? Because the numbers are coming together, and this wow is coming here. So this is, and you know, we've studied wow already. What is wow? So wahidun wa ishruna taliban, 21 students, right? If it was feminine, then wahid, what's the feminine for wahid? Ihda, we've done that before. Ihda wa ishruna talibatan. So you see what's happening here is the same thing. Both parts of the numbers set, this compound word is matching what we are counting. So ihda is feminine. Ishrun is also feminine. You remember ishrun, we have done in last lesson. Ishrun is from uqud. So 20, 30, 40, 60, all of these numbers are called uqud, and they stay same. They don't change according to the gender. So here, though, in the some explanations, it will say that the compound numbers will agree with the madud, but you know that this ishrun is not going to change. It's still going to remain same, whether it is masculine or whether it is feminine. So however way you think it is easy for you, memorize it this way. If you think saying this makes it easy for you, that everything will match each other, so say everything will match each other. Wahidun wa ishruna taliban. So this ishruna is masculine. But if you ask, why ihda wa ishruna talibatan? Here is it matching? So we will say yes. Number ishrun, it does not change according to the gender of what you are counting. So as I explained it to you earlier, there are two ways of looking at it. You may say they match each other, or you may say that the first number and the tamiz match, and the second part, ishrun, it stays same in the form of masculine, in the form of feminine, it does not change. So then if we move to 23 to 29, last week we have left that. Last week we did not do 23 to 29. Okay. Last week we did not do 23 to 29. This week this time we will see that it's very simple, because every time if one thing is coming at a time, it's easy for us to remember that and understand that. So look at this number 23 and 29. What's happened? Part one of the compound word is opposite in gender to the madud. Part two agrees with the gender of the madud. Do you see the similarity here between this one and this one? What did we do in number 13 to 19? Same. The first part was going opposite to what we were counting, and second part was matching to what we are counting. What is happening here? The same thing. First part, salasatun, is the feminine form of the word, whereas taliban is the masculine form. So this is going against the madud. And ishrun, we know this word ishrun, this number ishrun, it remains same whether it's masculine form or it is feminine form. So as I explained it to you earlier, if you feel like saying it in a way that they both agree, thus the second part of the number and the madhu, say it like this. Or if you really want to, and if you really have the understanding and you know that this number is really going to stay the same, then you know in your heart that this ishrun is not going to change according to the gender. So please don't feel confused by what I'm saying. I'm just trying to give you the tools to understand it better, inshallah, that you have two ways to understand. Whichever way makes itself easy for you to understand, just grasp that. So once again, ثلاثة وعشرون طالبا. What is happening? ثلاثة is opposite to معدود and عشرون is matching with the معدود. If you look at the feminine, if you are counting female students, 23, how would you say? ثلاث وعشرون طالبة. This ثلاث is now masculine. Why? Because what you are counting is feminine. And this عشرون is matching the طالبة, because we know that عشرون will remain same whether it is with masculine or whether it is with feminine. So once again, you may say that the first part of the number and what we are counting will be opposite, and second part will match what we are counting. Or you could say, no, it's not matching, but Ishruna is actually written like this for feminine and masculine both, hence it is not getting changed. So Salathatun wa Ishruna Taliban is 23 male students. Salatun wa Ishruna Talibatan is 23 female students. Arba'atun wa Ishruna Taliban is 24 male students. Arba'un wa Ishruna Talibatan is 24 female students. Khamsatun wa Ishruna Taliban is 25 masculine students, and khamsun wa ishruna talibatan is 25 feminine students. Sittatun wa ishruna taliban. Now this 26 students is masculine. Sittun wa ishruna talibatan. This 26 students are feminine. How? Sittun is a masculine word number, and talibatan, which is what we are counting, our madud, is feminine. Whereas how do we write the feminine of sittatun? We add sittun, we add ta marbutan, sittatun. Then this is, now it is a feminine form. So sab'atun wa ishruna taliban, 27 male students. Sab'un wa ishruna talibatan, 27 female students. Thamaniyatun wa ishruna taliban, 28 male students. ثمان وعشرون طالبة, 28 female students. تسعة وعشرون طالبا, 29 male students. تسع وعشرون طالبة, 29 feminine or female students. So when you will get your resource back, you may look at these diagrams if you want to understand what it is. This is just for explanation. Well, alhamdulillah, we are conducting this class where I'm speaking. It's not that you are getting everything written. If everything was coming written to you, yes, then you need to perhaps know what is happening. But alhamdulillah, as this is a live class, so I'm explaining. So if you really even don't look at these drawings here, it will be fine, inshallah. And then we come to Ishrun. So all of these numbers, as I told you earlier, that we leave 20 for now, but we have attended though anyway. So these numbers are called uqud: 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. As you can see here, on the right-hand side, we are counting male students, Taliban. On the left-hand side, we are counting female students, Talibatan. But this number is not getting changed according to the gender of what we are counting. Why? Because this number, the spelling of this number remains same. So 20 students, you will write Ishuruna in this way, Ishuruna Taliban. And for female students, again, you will write Ishuruna with the same spelling. You will not add anything here. You will not add ta marbuta here or not ta marbuta here. You don't need to really make any changes. This number, all of these round figures, 20, 30, 40, so Ashruna, Thalathuna, Arbauna, Khamsuna, Sittuna, Sab'una, Thamanuna, Tis'una, all of these numbers from 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90, they will be written in this way. There will be no change, even though you are counting masculine, your ma'dud is masculine, these numbers are not changing. This is why we say they are like Jama Muzakkar Salim, right? You see, we Muslimuna, Muhandisuna, Mudarrisuna, right? This is how they are written, they look like Jama Muzakkar Salim, sound masculine plural. Hence why in the chapter also we have seen last time, it was coming with the explanation of Jama Muzakkar Salim. Same thing is happening here. Now what we are counting here is talibatan. So it's female student, but look, the number, the spelling of the number is not getting changed. Ashruna, thalathuna, arbauna, khamsuna, sittuna, sab'una, thamanuna, tis'una. So we have already covered that in detail in our previous lesson. And then this is the new number. We had not done this before. Once or twice it came in the text, but then we just touched upon it. So how do you say 100 students? Mi'atu taliban or mi'atu talibatin. So what is happening is this is once again coming in the form of mudaf, mudaf ilayh. So this mi'atu, it comes in same form like ishruna, whether you are the uqud 20, 40, 50, 60, they didn't change their shakal, their form when they were coming with the masculine or when they were coming with the feminine. Whereas if we remember, number 3, for example, that became thalathatun or thalathu, arba'atun for number 4, or arbaun for if it's coming with feminine. But here with number 100, it will always remain same. Me'atu talibin, me'atu talibatin. The only thing you need to remember is that this is mudaf, mudaf ilayh. Otherwise, this me'atu is going to remain same. How will you say 2? You will say 2 by saying me'atani. We know how you make dual. How you say 2 Muslims? Muslimani. How do you say 2 books? Kitabani. How do you say 2 houses? Baitani. How do you say 2 cars? Sayyaratani. So sayyaratun also has got a tamar, right? Like this. So what's happening is مئتان سيارتان حديقتان حقيبتان شجرتان. You see, everything with ta marbuta will open up the ta and add alif and nun. But because it is mudaf, mudaf ilayh, what happens with mudaf, mudaf ilayh? We have touched upon this as well. The noon of the mudaf will be deleted. Why will it be deleted? Because if you look at this, me'atan, what's the sound? Sound of noon. Me'atan, if you stop here and say me'atan, sound is of noon. And what is the sound of tanween? Sound of tanween is also sukun. So if you say, for example, baytun, tun, it's a noon sound, right? So this noon also has got the same sound. So basically, this gives a feeling like that. So whenever they come in mudaf, mudaf ilayh formation, the noon will always be dropped. This was my understanding and my explanation of why noon is gone. If you don't want to listen to this, if you are not convinced with this, if you don't really feel, oh, this, there could be some other explanation, this is not correct, no problem. Don't take it. Simply delete the noon and say, Me'ata talibin. So if I ask you, can you please give me some feedback? If I have a word, Baitani, and if I want to say Hamid's 2 houses, how will I say? Will I say Baitani Hamidin or Baita Hamid? I'll say Baita Hamid. If I want to say my parents, I will say Walidani or Walidai. Noon will be gone, right? So if any time you have a dual with you, or and then if you come up, make that dual as mudaf and there's a mudaf ilayh following that, then the noon of the dual will be deleted. So this was an extra thing. If you just want to go by the book, me'atani, if you separately write, you will write with the noon. But if you will write as in counting something, what you're going to do is you will simply take the noon off. And how will there be any change if it's a feminine or masculine? No, it will be same. Me'ata talibin, me'ata talibatin. So alhamdulillah, it's very easy. There is no problems with that. This number is a fixed number. It's not gonna change whether you are counting masculine or whether you are counting feminine. So here if you see thalathu me'ati talibin or talibatin, 300 students, whether it's male, if you will say if it's male, talibin, if it's female, you will say talibatin, but this number, thalathu me'ati, will not change. Arba'u me'ati. So basically, if you carefully look at it, what's happening? What is happening? You have 2 things written here together. Me'atu is coming from here, me'atu. And then thalathu is coming from your number. But why this me'atu was having a dhamma and it's kasra? Book is not mentioning that. I'm just giving you this information because, sisters, what happens is if we learn something and if we have some other information attached to that as well, that makes some kind of neurological, you see, footsteps in your mind. So because one thing is connected to another and that thing is connected to something else, so all of these connections makes the retention, inshallah, stronger in our minds. If you forget one thing, something else will come to your mind. If you forget that thing, something else will come to your mind. And because they all are related, when you will get one thing, the whole picture will come to your mind. So basically, this is 300. Salasu and then Mayati. Why Salasu and Mayati? You see, Salasu is for 3 and Mayati is for 100. So 300 and Talibin is for the student. If it is feminine, you say Talibatin. Arba'u Mayati Talibin. Arba'u Mayati Talibatin. Khamsu Mayati Talibin. Khamsatu Khamsau Mayati Talibatin. So 500 male students or 500 female students. Sittu Mayati Talibin. 600 male students or Sittu Mayati Talibatin. 600 female students. 700 طالب 700 male students 700 طالبة 700 female students 800 طالب 800 male students 800 طالبة 800 female students 900 طالب 900 male students 900 طالبة 900 female students. What you need to just, if you don't want to go into any detail, just remember this number 100 will be same for Mudhakkar and Muannas. The surah, the shakal, the form will not change. And even when you're going into 200, 300, 400 as well, the number will remain same whether you are counting masculine or whether you are counting feminine. I hope it is clear. So you can, if you want to count Taliban, you can change Taliban into Baitin, no problem. Talibat into maybe Sayaratin. So it's up to you. But number will not change. Number will remain same, whatever gender of your Madud is. I hope it is clear. And then we have one other thing new. Once again, this is Alf. So that's done naturally. That's the next progress. Remember, this is 1000. How you say? Alfu talibin. Once again, the beauty is it will not change according to what you are counting. So if you remember, this alf is for 1000. Khalas, inshallah, you will be able to do that. Alfu talibin is 1000 students. It's whether it's male or female, you say alfu talibin or alfu talibatin. And once again, 2000, how do you make two? Dual alfani. You see, alif and noon has been added to the original alfani. And when you're saying 2000 students, what do? The noon is getting deleted, as we've discussed earlier. Instead of alfani talibin, you say alfa talibin, 2000 male students. For female, alfa talibatin, 2000 female students. How do you say for 300? Same. Salathatu alafi talibin, 3000 male students. So salathatu alafi talibatin is your for female. So alaf is what? Alaf is the plural of alf. Alf is 1000, alaf is thousands. So now you are giving the plural 1000, but how many thousand? This is you're telling by number. 3000 or 4000 or 5000. I hope you're getting that right. So thalathatu alafi talibin, 3000 male students. Thalathatu alafi talibatin, 3000 female students. As you can see, both parts of the number remain same. They don't change. They are same for the masculine and feminine. Arba'atu alafi talibin, 4000 masculine students or male students. Arba'atu alafi talibatin, 4000 female students. Khamsatu alafi talibin, 5000 male students. Khamsatu alafi talibatin, 5000 female students. Sittatu alafi talibin, Sittatu alafi talibatin. Sab'atu alafi talibin, Sab'atu alafi talibatin. ثمانية آلاف طالب, 8000 male students. ثمانية آلاف طالبات, 8000 female students. تسعة آلاف طالب, 9000 male students. تسعة آلاف طالبات, 9000 female students. Asharatu alafi talibin, 10,000 male students. Asharatu alafi talibatin, 10,000 female students. تأتي بسورة واحدة مع المذكر والمؤنث. Now I hope you understand this Arabic, because we've already explained that they come in the one shakal, one form, with mudhakkar or muannas. And then for 20,000, 20,000 we know ishrun doesn't change. Whatever you're counting, it doesn't change. And we've seen alf also doesn't change, right? So now you're saying 20,000, ishruna alfa talibin, 20,000 male students. Ishruna alfa talibatin, 20,000 female students. Salathuna alfa talibin, 30,000 male students. Salathuna alfa talibatin, 30,000 female students. Arba'una alfa talibin, 40,000 students male. Arba'una alfa talibatin, 40,000 students which are female. So we see ishrun, thalathun, they don't change with the gender. And alf, we have seen alf also doesn't change. So very simple. You see, keep simply adding what you are counting. And what you are counting could be masculine, what you're counting could be feminine. This number is not going to be changed. How more simple or easy can it be, sisters? You see? Isn't it? Alhamdulillah. So خمسون ألف طالب خمسون ألف طالبة, 50,000 male students or 50,000 female students. Now if you're talking about 100,000, مئة ألف طالب. So مئة, we have seen that it remains same, and ألف, we have seen that it remains same. So this is not changing according to the ma'adud. مئة ألف طالب, 100,000 male students. مئة ألف طالبة, 100,000 female students. And then for 20, how do you say? Me'ata alfi talibin, 200,000 male students. Me'atu alfi talibatin, 200,000 female students. 300,000. Salathu me'ati alfi talibin, 300,000 students male. Salathu me'ati alfi talibatin, 300,000 female students. Arba'u me'ati alfi talibin, 400,000 male students. أربعمائة ألف طالبة, 400,000 female students. This is how it is given in the book in today's lesson. Of course, in your book, you will not find it written in English. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on the brother. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase him in knowledge and bless him in both worlds. Ameen, Ya Rab. He's done a wonderful work, sister. MashaAllah, everything is just ready for us to read and just go through that. So that is the end. That is the end of the numbers. Now we will quickly see ahwalul adad, conditions of number, which we have already seen that. When we were doing it, now we have seen that, but here what's going to happen is we will see some numbers, how actually those numbers are, and what is the, in the next slide we'll see how what you are counting looks like. So we have seen that the al-adadani wahidun wathnani ala wafq al-ma'dudi, the two numbers 1 and 2 are in agreement in gender because they're not and manut. We've seen the talibun wahidun, talibatun wahidatun. Numbers from 3 to 10, al-adadu min thalathatin ila asharatin ala aqs al-ma'dudi. The numbers from 3 to 10 are opposite in gender to the numbers being counted. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the brother. Look, every explanation is given in English and then with example as well. So if you somehow have missed the track somewhere because you've done other numbers, you can again see that khamsatu tullabin. Khamsatu is feminine. Why? Because what's the singular of tullabin? Talib, right? So talib is what singular is masculine. So number is coming feminine. Khamsu talibatin. Why khamsu number is coming masculine? Because what is the singular of talibatin? Talibatun. So that's because talibatun is feminine, so number is coming as masculine. What about 11 and 12? The two numbers 11 and 12, both parts are in agreement to the number being counted. We've seen that ahada ashara kawkaban or ihda ashara talibatan. We've already seen that. And then number 4 expression here is for number 13 to 19. So the first part is opposite to the number being counted, and second is in the agreement in gender to it. So we have already seen that as well, right? Tis'ata ashara taliban, 19 male students. So tis'ata is ending on ta marbuta because taliban, what we're counting is masculine, as we've seen in the previous example. So tis'ata is feminine, the number is feminine, what we are counting is masculine. But if it was feminine, it will be tis'a. Tis'a will be without ta marbuta, and tis'a asharata talibatan. So then the number is masculine because what we are counting is feminine. Okay, and then ahwalul ma'dud, conditions of countable, what is being counted, which is called ma'dud. So from 3 to 10, we will have it coming as majroor. So what we are counting will be mudaf ilayh, it will be majroor. I hope you remember that. How do we say? Thalathata aqlamin, 3 pens, right? Wa thalathu talibatin, 3 female students. So this is coming as majroor and this is mudaf ilayh. And from 11 to 99, it is coming, the madud is coming as tamiz, and tamiz is always mufrad mansoob. We already know that, alhamdulillah. And 100 and 1000s, all of these are coming as mufrad majruran bil idafa, means coming in the form of mudaf mudaf. Now come to this Arabic. Look, yakunu jam'an majruran bil idafati. Here it is only saying it's jama majrur, but you can see here why it is jama majrur, with what, in what form it is coming, in the form of idafa. So it's coming as mudaf ilayh. Whereas 11 to 99, that your ma'dud, what you're counting, is going to be mufrad, means singular, and mansoob, and in the Arab you will write it is tamiz. And for these numbers, it will be mufrad majroor, once again bil idafa. What's the difference between number 3 to 10 and this one? Number 3 to 10, it is mudaf ilayh, but it is plural. Whereas in these numbers, you see talibin, it is coming as mudaf ilayh, yes, but it is singular. So this was it. This was today's lesson. What today we have seen is just hundreds and thousands, and of course, in between, whatever came in between that. Right? This is all it was. Otherwise, all other numbers, you already knew that. Now, how to read the numbers in Arabic? There are 2 ways, but the book is telling you, and this is one way of reading, that you read from the right and go till the left. So first you read the unit, and then you read the 10, and then you read the 100, and then you read the thousands. So how will you read any, for example, a real is your muzakkar, right? Is what you're counting is masculine. So what you will do, you salathat, you know what you are counting is masculine. So your number 3, when we were doing number 3, always it was opposite. We've just seen a while ago. So thalathatun, right? This is coming as feminine. Wa arba'una. So 3, and then arba'una, 40. You know how arba'una is written in just this shape, whether it's feminine or whether it is masculine. Khamsu miyatin also is always written in the same way, irrespective of what you are counting. Wasittatu alafin. So this sittatu and this is alaf. So what are we counting here? 300. So this is how you are actually going. 3 and 40 and 5 and 100 and 6,000 riyals. But of course, in English, you would say 6,543 riyals. So these are 2 different ways. You can count from right to left, or you can count from left to right. But the book is saying to start with the left. So this is how you read. ثلاثة وأربعون وخمسمائة وستة آلاف ريال. Or if you are counting rubiyatin, rupees, which is feminine, say ثلاث وأربعون وخمسمائة وستة آلاف rubiyatin. So, as I said to you, sisters, this is not something you will be able to memorize just one go. You see, memorizing the rules also requires the practice. But once you memorize the rules, then it becomes really your second nature. With the numbers, with the rules, you really need to do the practice as well. You can't just skip the practice and say, you know what, I just attended the class, it's enough. No, you need to write lots and lots of numbers. So you have the summary of the numbers with you. I hope you have received that on your group, and you have this lesson. You can go through that. So if we do the recap, what we have basically done today is we have gone through from numbers 1 and 2, 3 and 10, 11 and 12, 13 to 19, 20, 30, 40. We have seen last time. We have touched upon again today as well. We have seen 21 to 29. So 21, 22, and 23 to 29. And then we have seen 100, and we have seen 200, and we have seen 1,000, and we have seen how do we read these numbers. This is the end of the chapter. This is how, if you have textbook in front of you, you could see in the textbook, you could only find everything just written in one line in Arabic like this here. So this is all the explanation. There's no text in today's lesson. There's no dialogue. When I say text, I mean there's no dialogue between two people. These numbers will be used in the dialogues in the upcoming lessons. It means in level 6. So please make sure that you are good in these numbers, right? If you do a good enough practice, believe me, you will become strong. But start really counting things. So pick one object, qalam, for example, and write from number 1 till 100. You may say it is too much. If I just write until 30, I'll get hang of understanding how 13 to 19 looks and how 23 to 29 looks, and the rest are the same. Yes, this is correct, but it's better that just take some time out and count from 1 to 100, and then go into 200s, and then go into thousands, and then go into 100,000, because 200 and 1,000, 100,000 are not many, just 10 numbers, and that's it. So 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, go up to only 10,000, then 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, go up to millions. So this is the 10 set of numbers. The other is 10 set of numbers, and just do the hundreds, 100, 200, 300, 400, and pay attention to this writing from 1 200. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, go on and on. 71, 72, 73, 74, till the end, 91, 92, 93, 94, 5, 6, 7, 8, 99, 100. So pick the objects, masculine objects and feminine objects. If you will write that in the beginning, you will be thinking, oh, what to do? Oh, let me just go back to the notes and see what was it, what was the right, what was the wrong thing. But after counting few objects, it will become your second nature. But you really need to practice. I don't think there's any shortcut to the practice for numbers. I've always warned you for the numbers that please, when you're doing numbers, whatever numbers are coming, become very strong. So when the new set of numbers come, you don't mix them up, because if you have not practiced, then you will mix them up. But there's no harm. Even you're mixing up, it's never late. Inshallah, you will be able to do the practice, and you will become strong once again. So that was our recap. So today's lesson basically is ended. Here is the summary of the numbers. You will again have it, and you had it before. If you want to just have a kind of a rules for something when you're doing your work, maybe take a printout, or maybe open it on your phone screen while you're writing on your notebook, so you can get some numbers from here, and the numbers which are not covered in this summary slide, you can see that from the lesson. So if we now go to our revision, I think that will be a good thing to do. So today, as I said to you earlier, that we will be doing our revision. And as you can see, why we are doing the revision in just one class, because today's class was not very longer. There's no exercise in that. It was just some numbers, and alhamdulillah, we have done those numbers. So if we could now go through what we have done in the level 5. Level 5, we have started with chapter 17. We are ending on chapter 24. Alhamdulillah, we have ended our level 5. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Wama tawfiqi illa billah. Say, Alhamdulillah, it's blessed from the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we were successfully able to finish our level 5 today. Now, this is the revision. Inshallah, we'll finish this as well very quickly. In this level, basically, things went very slow, because there was a lots and lots to do in terms of practice and exercises, and which we have done that. If you look at the concept, the core concept, that was very limited. But may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on the soul of Sheikh Abdul Rahim. Ameen Ya Rab. He has given us a huge material to practice on whatever he was teaching. Alhamdulillah, we have done that. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, we have covered some concepts which were not in the book, some additional things. So those things, okay, of course, you can go back to your resource pack and you can go through that. Those were not directly the part of the lesson. Those were additional informations for you to have a better understanding. As I said to you, if we have more than one path going to some particular topic, then it's more likely that we will be able to remember that, we'll be able to retain that, compared to if we have just one direction to learn that. So we have learned things coming from many different directions. So if we picked one word, dhu, we already knew from before that it is from Asmaul Khamsa. So when dhu showed up here, we knew that. When we saw Jama Muzakkar Salim, we already knew what is Jama Muzakkar Salim. So it was very easy. And we were able to focus on different things like Arab Taqdiri, which was not discussed in the book, but we have understood that how do we do that. We've done few things about the verbs as well, irregular verbs. The book was not really discussing in detail, but Alhamdulillah, I hope you are prepared now for level 6. In level 6, you will have lots and lots of verbs coming, so then you will find them very, very easy. This level was very easy. Alhamdulillah, we were able to bring in some difficult concept, which, mashallah, tabarakallah, you sisters got really on the chin and you really understood that. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. So let's quickly see what we have done in this level. So we have seen Nawasibul Fail al Mudari. We know An, Lan, Lam Talil, Kai, Idhan, they all are Nawasib. What's the meaning of Nawasib? Nawasib is a Amil, is a governing word. When it comes before the present tense verb, it makes the present tense verb mansub. So we have seen that here, that after An, Yad, Habu, which was originally Yadhabu, you see the marfu form is Yadhabu, became Yadhaba. When the lam came, once again it became Yadhaba. And this Lamu Ta'lil, lam for the reasoning came, Kharaja Hamidun liyadhhaba ila al-mat'ami. Hamid left or exited to go to the restaurant. So Lamu Ta'lil, lam of the reasoning, why someone is doing something. Why did they do something? What was the reason? So this lam tells you the reason, the ta'lil, what is the illah, what was the sabab for that. So we have seen that. How does it look like? The fail mudari looks like when harf nasb is coming before that. So for harf nasb, we have seen an, lan, and lamut talil. So all of this with the huwa, yadhhaba, yazhabu became yadhhaba. For Fatima, it's usually tadhhabu because it's feminine. It became tadhhaba. And then we will see it with vowel jama as well. So we have covered all of this. Lan adhaba, lan tadhhaba, lan yadhhaba, lan an nadhhaba. All of this is shown with the fatha. What happens with the verbs which are for plural? So yadhhabuna, when lan came, lam got dropped. Lan, when lan came for tadhhabina, the noon got dropped. Alamatu nas, what is the sign of the nas? Is hasfun noon. So deletion of noon in those 5 verbs which represents dual doers and masculine doers is hasfun noon. And what is the alamatu nasb in these ones? Azhabu, yadhabu, tadhabu, nadhabu. For these verbs, alamatu nasb is fatha on the last letter. And what happens to 2 forms of feminine when they are third person feminine plural or second person feminine plural? They remain same. We just have this sukoon coming. This noon will not get dropped. The noon will stay there like the other ones. Noon will not get dropped, right? Another thing, an and lamu ta'lil doesn't come in the beginning, right? They always come in the middle of the sentence, whereas lan can come in the beginning of the sentence and come in the middle of the sentence. Then we've seen the word like yumkinu, wala yumkinu. Then we've seen mundu. Mundu is what? Mundu is harf jar. Yakhtassu bizaman. It is giving, it's an adverb of time. Ma ra'aytuka mundu yawmayni. I did not see you since last 2 days. Huwa maridun mundu yawm al-jum'ati. Huwa maridun mundu yawm al-jum'ati. He is sick since day of Friday or since Friday. So you see, since, now this since is giving you the idea of time. So mundu is for zaman. And then we have seen the verb ra'a, mudari is ara. Ra'a, ara. Madha tara, what did you see? Ara qalaman, I saw the pen. And of course, we know qalaman, what's the Arab of the qalaman? Qalaman is maf'ulun bihi, mansub. Why? Why it is mansub? Because it is the object of the verb. What did you see? It's the action of eyes, right? Your action of your eyes was to see. What did you see? You saw the pen. And then if you can see what we've already discussed, it was covered in chapter 18, which was حذف النون من الأفعال الخمسة للنسب. So all those five verbs which are representing the dual doers or the plural doers, when we are making it mansoob, if lan or an or idhan or lamut ta'lil are coming before that, then we will drop the noon. So you see, it was tashtaruna. After an, it became an tashtaru, and it was takhrujina. But after lan, the noon is gone, and it's now without noon. And we have already discussed just a few seconds ago that when it is second person feminine plural or third person feminine plural, then this noon will not be deleted. This noon is still remaining same. And then we have seen kaf tashbih. This is harf jar yufidu tashbih. This is harf jar. It means it will make the noun which is coming after that majroor. And what's the meaning? It is to give similarity. Hadhihi madrasatu kal masjidi. This school is like the masjid. Anta kal asadi. You are like a lion. Sa'ati ka sa'atika. My watch is like your watch. Hamidun kaslanu kazamili. Hamid is lazy like his colleague. So what is the hadith of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam? The nearest meaning is that man is on the religion of his friend. So we should be very careful when choosing our friends, that who we are choosing them, because there's another hadith. The meaning is, the nearest meaning is, if one is a friend with somebody who sells the ithr, the perfume, either that person will, when he will come away, will get away from that person. He went to see him and is coming out. Either that person will gift him the perfume, the beautiful thing, or at least he will be smelling like a perfume because he was sitting with somebody who was selling perfume. But on the other hand, if somebody is friends with the goldsmith, what's going to happen? When he'll come out, he will just have a bad smell, or maybe his uh, clothes will be all soiled, blackened, because he was at some profession where the work was like of this kind. So we have to be very, very careful who we are choosing as friends. And it doesn't just go for our children. This is something we often tell our children, but this goes true for us as well, right? And there's one English saying, we become part of what we are around. So we have to be very careful what kind of surroundings, what kind of people, what kind of company we are choosing. Alhamdulillah. And then 19th lesson. Once again, 19th lesson was learn. We already know learn. We know learn in detail. So learn, what does learn do? Learn turns the fail mudare, which was the present tense, into future and into nafi, into negation. So what's the difference between madi nafi, which is ma, and present tense nafi, which is la, and also present tense nafi, and also another nafi, which is lan? So ma is used for madi. Ma katabtu darsa, I did not write the lesson. Ma dhahabtu ila suqi amsi, I did not go to the market yesterday. Whereas with the ma, what you do is you negate the past. Sisters, don't say, oh, this is all Arabic. This is good for you to have a lesson and look at this. I'll try, inshallah, to send you that with your resource pack as well. So because when you know something already, and then it comes in Arabic, then it is very easy to understand. In fact, your mind is actually translating, oh, this word was said like this or written like this in English. Oh, this is how it is in Arabic. So when you will see next time, you will find yourself much comfortable with the language, sister. So don't please say that, oh, this is all in Arabic, because we've already done everything. This is just the sharh. This is just the revision. It's not even sharh. We are doing it as the revision, but actually it's just an explanation. It is a full explanation. Remember, you see, the whole chapters we have done in 2 classes, so many slides, they are just covered in 1 or 2 or 3 pages here. So this was for Madi. Negation, we use ma. For present tense, we are using la. What does la do? La is used for negation of present tense and can also mean future tense. So if we say la ashrabul qahwata, I do not drink coffee, or I will not drink coffee. La adhabu ila suqi means I am not going to the market, or I will not go to the market, right? This is giving you the meaning of nafi fi mustaqbil. If you want to make it more clearer, you don't want to leave any doubt, because if you say la ashrabul qahwata, it could mean I do not drink coffee, or you want to say I will not drink coffee. So you simply add al-ana. Al-ana means now. So if you go somewhere and say, La ashrabul qawata, maybe next time you'll go, they're not going to offer you anything. You will just say, oh, what kind of people are they? They didn't offer me. Because no, you told them, I do not drink coffee. That was the meaning of this word. Or it could also mean, I will not drink coffee. But now, if you go to somebody and you just want to make sure that this is for today, maybe tomorrow, you would like to have a coffee. So you say, La ashrabul qahwata al-ana. I am not drinking coffee now, or I am not going to drink coffee now, or I don't want to. You can say it in different ways in Arabic, but I'm just trying to explain you that how you add al-ana with the la to make it specific for the present tense and not for the future tense. Whereas on the other hand, lan, this is for nafi in the future. Lan akhraja min al-bayti. I will not go out of the house. Lan adhaba ila suqi ghadan. I will not go to the market tomorrow. You see now this ghadan is also making things clearer. Tomorrow you will not go to the market. I'm not saying I will never go to the market, but these are just the side points, just doing it in the class. In briefly, understand lan makes the fail mudare negative, and it turns the mudare, which is the present tense, into a future tense. Right. And then in chapter 20, we have seen dual. We don't really need to even revise dual. Muthanna, we already know that by adding alif and noon, we turn into muthanna. And then we have seen ahadu, which is for muzakkar, and ihda, which is for feminine. So ahaduhuma, one of them, when we are talking about masculine, the group of people, one person among that group. And ihda, we use it for the feminine. And al-akharu means another, and that is for muzakkar, and for muannas we say al-ukhra. And then there are examples, we should have done that. And then we've done zu and that, we've covered that in detail when we were doing our asma'ul khamsa. As you can see, ismun min asma'il khamsati, we know zu, the, and the. Zu is the marfu form, the is the mansoob form, and the is the majroor form. And then number 21, chapter number 21 was about Jazmul Mudari. We've seen lam and lamma. So lam, negation. Lam makes the present tense verb negative and turn it into past tense, right? And lamma does the same thing, but when you use lam, end of the discussion. So if I say, let's say I'm talking about Zaid and say Zaid did not come. End of the story. Maybe I'm talking to him. Maybe I went to school. Zaid is my class fellow. Somebody asked me after the school. I said Zaid didn't come. That's it. School is over. I'm maybe at my home. There's no possibility of him turning back again to the school now. But let's say I'm in the middle of the lesson and somebody say, where's Zaid? I said Zaid didn't come. Maybe he will come after a while. So lamma makes it negative, but it's just negative up to the point of speech, not tamaman, not completely. So for example, if you look at this example, if you say ma katabtu ila al-ana, if this meaning of lamma, ma katabtu ila al-ana means I did not write until now. Was aktubu, inshallah, I will write it afterwards. So if I say, if I use lamma, I will give you the same meaning as if I'm saying I haven't wrote it down until now, but I may write it afterwards. But if I say lam, then it means it is the end. I have not done it, and there is no more possibility of me doing it in the current time. And then we have seen Aqsabul Kalima. This is something we've done a long time back. So there are three types of words in Arabic language: noun, verbs, and particles. We've done that. And then we have alhamdulillah already know what is noun sentence and what is verb sentence. Really, there's no need to go into that. And we have done in the past allati, and in this level we have seen there is another word, this ismul mawsul, right, for the plural feminine, but we can also use well allai. Allai can be used instead of allati. They both will mean the same thing. And then this chapter was actually covering everything what we have done before. So this is what we have just covered now. So all forms of fi'l mudari, when they are marfu, when they are mansoob, when they are mazzoom. So for example, if it was this verb yashrabu, it has got dhamma is the sign of marfu. If it is mansoob because of lan, fatha is the sign of mansoob. If it is mazzoom because of lam, sukoon is the sign of mazzoom. But and if these were the plural or duals, then the presence of noon will be the sign of marfu, and deletion of noon will be the sign of mansoob or madzoom. How will we know it is madzoom or mansoob? Simply by looking at the amil, what governing word is before that. And as we have discussed before, second person feminine plural and third person feminine plural, the noon from there does not get dropped because they are mabni. And then this is Alfazul Uqud. So numbers 20, 30, 40, 60, 80, 90, which we covered in the last chapter. And in that chapter as well, Jama Muzakkar Salim was mentioned, sound masculine plural. Alhamdulillah, we already know that sound masculine plural is added by adding waw and noon to a masculine singular word when it is in the form of marfu. But when it is playing the role of mansoob or majroor in the sentence according to what is before that, then ya and noon will be added. We already know that, really. So yurfa bil waw wa yunsibu wa yujarru bil ya. So it's marfu by waw and mansub al majrur by ya. And these numbers from 20 to 90, we've seen that these numbers, two special things. These numbers, they don't change their form. They don't have masculine and feminine spelling separate. They have one spelling for masculine and the same spelling for feminine. If they are marfu, they have vaw. So ja'a ishruna taliban. So ja'a is your verb and ishruna is your fa'il, and this waw is telling you that this is your doer. 20, and taliban is of course tamiz. But if you say ra'aytu, then ishruna will become ishrina. Ra'aytu, I saw 20 students. So how you will make mansub? By adding ya and noon instead of waw and noon to the singular word. And if it's a harf jar before that, an ishrina. So what? Once again, we added ya and noon to ishruna was changed from waw and noon to ya and noon to show that now it is majrur. And then we have seen madi, the past tense. You make negative by using ma. Ma akaltu, I did not eat. And in mudare, you make it negative by using la. La, I do not eat, right? But sometimes fail madi can be negated by using la, which is la nafiya. But when this is the situation, then it must have la repeated. So example from the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, قال تعالى فلا صدق ولا صلى. قال تعالى فلا صدق ولا صلى. So صدق is past tense and la is coming here. صلى is also past tense, la is coming here. So la will be repeated. And then this was today's chapter. So we have seen that today's chapter. There's really no need to go through that. We've just done that. So number 1 to 2, 3 to 10, 11 to 12, 13 to 19. And these are the uqud, and these are the hundreds and 1,000 and 2,000. Then we've seen 300, 400, 500 until 900. We have seen thousands, and we have seen how to read these numbers. So this was our revision. So I hope it was beneficial. We were able to cover two things in one class instead of just finishing the lesson 14 in half an hour and come back again next week to do the revision class of another half an hour. But still, if you think there is something you are not able to get it, recording will be available. So you can always watch that. And hopefully, inshallah, you will have the recordings for the whole level will be made available to you. You will receive a link in your group with the playlist, and you will be able to go through each and every lesson's recording if you wish to, for your revision of the certificate exam. If there's nothing else, then we will end the class. As far as the dates for the exams are concerned, I hope you have already received it, or if you haven't, then inshallah you will receive it soon. That when is your exam going to be, and how long is the study break going to be? So if there's nothing else, then we will inshallah end the class, sisters. Alhamdulillah, it was good to be with you in level 5, sisters. I wish you all of you the best, and I hope all of you will secure very, very good grades. Allahumma barik, mashallah, tabarakallah. You all are very hardworking. So please do your best in your exam. Exam is going to be easy. Somebody was asking what is the syllabus going to be. So you've just seen these are the chapters covered. And the question about the additional information, what you learn, will be there or not. It will be there, but just a little bit, not too much, but it will be there, because that additional information is not additional, meaning totally out of the subject. No, that is the subject what we are studying, right? So if you are strong in that, and if while you're revising, if you do that, then inshallah you will be able to secure better marks in the exam, and in upcoming level you will have less stress on you, and you will find every lesson that is very, very easy. So once again, sisters, Jazakumullah khairan for attending this whole level 5. Inshallah, see you in level 6. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.